my name is Valeria, and I'll just be giving a speech today. Thank you all for coming. My speech today will be about recycling. First, I'm going to start off by talking about how we affect the earth, which is different types of pollutions. Next, I'd like to talk about why recycling is important and why you should start as soon as possible. And lastly, I'll talk about different ways that you can start today. What if I told you that you could save the world? If everyone recycled, we could prolong the lives of many different resources that we use. Things like crude oil, different kinds of oil, obviously, and then like trees and stuff. Not only could we help the environment, but we could also help human health. Did you know the health effects that come with pollution affects almost 100 million people in the world? So not only are we harming the environment that we live in, we also are harming ourselves and our health. There are many different kinds of pollution. The various types include light pollution, water pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, and lastly, land pollution. Just a small change in your everyday habits can change the environment in a big way. Every time you recycle, you save resources, prevent pollution, make money, and save money. Recycling is important, and we should all make it a habit in our daily lives. So I'm going to start off by talking about different types of pollutions and how we affect the earth. The first pollution that I'm going to talk about is land pollution. The land can become polluted with common household trash such as plastic or even paper, stuff like that, and industrial waste. Landfills play a big role in pollution as well as commercial waste. In 2010, 250 million tons of trash was produced in America, according to Live Science, and more than half of that ended up in a landfill. But out of half of that, only 34% of it was recycled. So if we could have recycled, of course 34% is better than 0%, but if we could recycle more of that, it would provide everyone benefits. The next type of pollution is water pollution. Water can be polluted when it comes into contact with chemicals and dangerous substances. This includes sewage, pesticides, and metals, basically things that can be dumped off into the water. Certain industries and companies dump their waste into the ocean, and that's definitely water pollution. Not only does the water pollution affect animals, but it affects our health too. About 500 million people are drinking polluted water around the world, and this polluted water can be potentially harmful to them because of the pesticides, sewage, or metal that could be in it. Light pollution, it may not seem as important to us, but to natural life and certain professions, it is very important. Light pollution affects the migration patterns of birds and can also confuse newborn baby sea turtles, which we all know rely on the natural light of the moon to get to the ocean. Not only do we affect animals, but overusing lights wastes about 2 million barrels of oil a day. So we really are, light pollution may not seem as important, but it is really important because not only are we affecting the animals and our own knowledge even, we are clearly overusing oil when it comes to lights. And oil is a non-renewable resource, so we really need to start being able to recycle that for sure. Next is noise pollution. The environment is impacted by noise pollution. It occurs when the sound coming from planes and industries reaches harmful levels. Researchers have been able to connect this to stress-related illnesses, high blood pressure, and hearing loss. So, lastly, air pollution, which I find to be one of the most important. We breathe in nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor, and inert gases that are in the air. Air pollution occurs when other things are in the air that aren't normally there. This includes burning fuels and soot, as well as the release of dangerous chemicals. Very important because we all want to breathe clean air. Next, I'll talk about why recycling is so important and why you should definitely start today. Recycling saves energy. We can use less energy to make products with recycled materials than making the whole new material. For example, recycling aluminum saves about 95% of the energy required to produce it from raw materials. So it definitely saves us a lot of energy, 95% energy that we would have to use to make it like from the raw materials. But recycling is also important because we need to protect the environment. We are harming the environment in many ways. For example, we cut down trees for many things like paper, wood, pencils, furniture. If we just limited the amount of paper that we use and the trees we cut down, we could save some of the forest areas, which are homes to animals, and forests even help us breathe. So we're going back to human health, and if we cut down all the trees, then they won't be able to release oxygen into the air for us to breathe. So seems pretty important to me. Lastly, we need to conserve our natural resources, and that's why recycling is so important. There are certain natural resources that we cannot remake again. These are known as non-renewable resources. A good example of that's oil. We use oil for everything, for light, as I mentioned before. We use oil for our cars and our homes. We use it for so many things. Industrial companies use it, but we need to limit the amount we use because when it runs out, we can't just make more. When it runs out, it's out. So, recycling is really important. We need to save energy, protect the environment, and conserve our natural resources. Okay, lastly, I'm going to talk about different ways that you can start recycling today. Recycling is so important, as we've talked about before. We need to conserve the energy, protect the environment, and save energy. Conserve natural resources, things like that. And recycling isn't even hard to start doing. Recycling is so easy. Like if you just make little habits in your daily life at home, like recycling is very easy. And if we all came together, all of us as humans on this wonderful earth that we live on, if we all came together and recycled things, then we could definitely prolong the life of many natural resources and just make life better for us. So, to start recycling today, you can start by turning off the lights when you're leaving the room. Back to earlier, I told you that the overuse of lights uses about 2 million barrels a day of oil that we really don't need to be using. Next, you could turn off the water while brushing your teeth. This just saves energy. We're not just like wasting water. Also it comes with like some people don't have water, so we could be saving that water and using it for different things than having it just run while we brush our teeth and look at ourselves in the mirror. We could make a designated recycling bin at your home so that your whole family can practice recycling things like plastic, paper, and aluminum. In Jacksonville, I'm pretty sure everywhere they've started where they gave you a recycling bin to use for trash and you put that out every 2 weeks. That's a really great way to start using it, but people should definitely, not everyone's using it. So if we all use that recycling bin, which is already provided for us, it would make things better for us. Turn off any electronics when you're not using them to conserve energy. Reuse plastic bags that you get from grocery stores for different things. Use rechargeable batteries rather than buying new ones. Use towels more than once before washing them. Buy recycled goods, and recycling e-waste, which might sound weird, but it's things like batteries, light bulbs, TV sets, and stuff like that. So that's the end of my speech. I really hope that you'll start recycling today and making this a better planet for us to live on. Today I discussed the ways we affect the environment with pollution. I discussed the reasons to start recycling and how you can start recycling today. So thank you very much for coming and listening to me. I really hope that this presentation makes you start recycling. Thank you.